Hi, I'm Marilyn.
Hi, I'm JS.
We are Singaporean digital nomads because our BTO is taking too long. Together, we travel instead of renting while waiting for our BTO. Since we started digital nomading, we have worked from more than 15 countries.
Some of them include South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe.
And then we went to Europe. We were on a NUS Overseas College program. He was an intern and I actually went back for a full-time job. Fun fact, we were actually from the same JC and uni, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
We bonded in New York because North Korea was on our bucket list. So we were like, oh, everyone don't want to go, but you're also interested. So that was like one of the first few places that we went. We started that because we went to North Korea and people were asking us a lot of questions, so we thought to consolidate everything in one place so people can read about it.
We wanted to spend more time with each other, so we considered renting a place for ourselves. Then we started looking into rentals, and then we found out that the rental prices were pretty expensive and we did not dare to spend the money on rent.
And I think both of us really enjoy traveling, so instead of putting the money towards like a rental, we decided to put that towards traveling instead. I think my family wasn't too surprised at our decision because I lived on campus when I was in university and then I spent 3 years in New York. So I've always been very independent and enjoyed traveling.
I think by now they are pretty used to it. Recently when we went to Korea to do my LASIK for 2 weeks, my mom even commented like, oh, why is it 2 weeks only so short?
Because I had to go to US for a work trip and it was pretty close, so we decided to head to Mexico right after.
And also because during that time it was still during the pandemic, so Mexico was one of the more open countries. We were able to do safaris in the day and then work remotely afterwards. So we did that for like 1 whole week.
I think like waking up together with the elephants, being in nature, and then after that going back to your laptop, it's just like you're very recharged for the day, and then you can be like, wow, I have kind of like lived this morning, so now I can work hard and like kind of do my job.
I think that's the fun part. Like the not so fun part about Africa is that the infrastructure is not that good.
Yeah, the load shedding. I actually didn't know what load shedding was before the trip.
In South Africa, like they will turn off the electricity, like all electricity at a scheduled time because their power infrastructure isn't that good, so they don't have enough electricity to power the entire country. So usually I go onto Google Flights to see like what are the more affordable or like more worth it flights. So we decide our destination based on like the duration that we have overseas and also the flight prices.
I think also like the spontaneous escapes and good miles redemption also determines some of our destination. We usually budget for an entire year instead of like month by month because some months can be cheaper, some months can be more expensive. Working across different time zones is challenging because sometimes I have to wake up super early to be on calls with my coworkers and clients, and at times I have to sleep super late at like 3 or 4 a.m. So the time zone difference across different countries can be quite challenging and tough on the body.
For me, it's that it is not always roses and butterflies. A lot of the times we are just in our Airbnb or in a co-working space or cafe and then spending only like 2 or 3 hours of the day walking around. It's a lot about balancing between exploring a new place and like finding the time to work. Another downside is that it can be very challenging to look for a place that's suitable for working. So it's like a lot of things that we take for granted in Singapore, or like when you have an office, you kind of expect that it has good Wi-Fi, it has like a good working environment. But like when you're in an Airbnb, like sometimes the Wi-Fi is very bad, you cannot take calls, or like it's too noisy, you cannot take calls. Or sometimes the chair is just very hard.
I think it's quite important to have good personal finance habits. Like for example, for me, when we started digital nomading, I had a full-time job. But when the company went bankrupt, I suddenly lost my job and I needed like a couple of months in order to transit And if I didn't have the good financial habits to save when I'm working and when I had a job, it would have been very challenging and I might have to stop.
There's also a lot of opportunities out there for you to work remotely, and there's a lot of skills that people can pick up online right now that teaches skills that can allow you to do remote work.
Yeah, I think it's like how badly you want it, like if you want to achieve the digital nomad lifestyle and you don't have a job that sustains it now, maybe it might be 2 years later, but just keep upskilling and then eventually you will reach there. So we are getting our BTO in 2025, and I think when our house is here, we'll probably spend some time to settle the renovation, but we probably cannot stop traveling because we have already tried out this lifestyle and we really enjoy it. But we are kind of keeping everything open and we communicate and keep aligning as things come up, because we are not sure at that point how our career or family planning will be like.
I think overall Singapore is still a very good place to live in and work from. We take a lot of things that we have for granted. The more we travel, I think the more I feel that Singapore is still a great base to be in.
I think my biggest takeaway is that there is an alternative way to live. I can kind of design the life that I want and work towards it, because a lot of times when we want to live the digital nomad lifestyle, the situation in our life might not be set up for it in this current moment, but we can actually work towards it and hopefully make it come true.